Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bible study. Today we are going to study about David, Nabal, and Abigail. We are going to pull Abigail into the light and study her character, her way of talking, and how she solved a major problem. Let's dive in. And we're in 1 Samuel 25. So about my outfit, I just had the graduation on the line, a class that been going for about 1 year, and I just graduated this evening, and I'm just proud of myself. So let's get into 1 Samuel 25. And about the class, I may be able to teach you other things and go in the Bible study with other things I learned in the class. All right. 1 Samuel 25. Let's get in. Now, Samuel died. Who was Samuel? Samuel was a prophet that anointed David when he was a shepherd. And now Samuel, at the old age, he died, and all Israel assembled and mourned for him. And they buried him at and his home in Ramah. Then David moved down into the desert of Paran. Desert of Paran. Try to kind of picture how the desert looked like. It looks just like that, like nothing, zero. I looked on the internet, was nothing, uh, not even a tree. Now David moved down into the desert. He had his own people. He had his own men. He was running from Saul. Saul was still on the throne, and he was after David. David was playing harp for him, was playing music, psalms for Saul. So he was hiding from Saul, and he got his own men. He was always in the leadership, even over being a shepherd. He was in the leadership over his animals, of the animals of his father. Now he raised up. He had lots of men on his side, and he moved in the desert. All right, let's go. Verse 2. A certain man in Maon who had property there at Carmel was very wealthy. So we know about this person was a wealthy man. He had 1,000 goats and just think about 100 goats. It's a lot. 3,000 sheep, and he was sharing in Carmel. Sharing when you get the fur out of the sheep when it's it's having too much of the wool on the sheep, you gotta get it down. His name was Nabal, and his wife's name was Abigail. Now it tells about Abigail. It tells about that Nabal was a very rich man. Imagine 3,000 sheep, like he had lots. So he had to hire people, he was rich, to get those sheep sharing, the fur. She was an intelligent and beautiful woman, but her husband was surly and mean in his dealings. He was a Calebite. Now, it tells us it was a Calebite. A Calebite, what it was that time? Think about Caleb. That was in the time with Joshua. It was Joshua and Caleb, and they conquered the Holy Land. So that was in time. So he's coming from that, and he is in the tribe of Judah as well. He's coming from those ancestors, which is a very good solid. But he was a mean person and was doing things in a mean way with everybody else. Something on the way got him to be like that. We don't know. The Bible doesn't say. And I believe this was and used to be, and in that time, arranged marriages. So Abigail was given the marriage to him, to Nabal, because he was rich. She may have not much to say about it. The parents already made arrangements and she had to go. But she had, now we know two qualities: intelligent and beautiful. Intelligence, it's is good, but wisdom is has to be on the top. All right, let's go. All right, this is how they do it this time with the machine, but in that time they have different tools, like ancient tools. They try to do so many, like 3,000, maybe. Not everybody, not all the animals needs to be sharing, but maybe most of them. While David was in the wilderness, he heard that Nabal was sharing sheep. And when they do that, since he was a very rich man, they do have lots of people helping, and he had to feed them. Nabal had to feed them and make sure that they have food, drinks, and even to the end of it, they need to put a big table and they have like lots of things. So they knew, David knew that there was a preparation before. They have to cook food and serve food and all that. So what David did, so he sent 10 young men and said to them, "Go up to Nabal at Carmel and greet him in my name. Say to him, 'Long life to you, good health to you and your household, and good health to all that is yours.' Now I hear that it is sheep sharing time. When your shepherds were with us, we did not mistreat them, and the whole time they were at Carmel, nothing of theirs was missing." So they were looking after Nabal's animals and make sure nobody will come, nobody will steal, nobody will give give them any trouble. Verse 8: "Ask your own servant, and they will tell you." Sorry, the volume was low. "Therefore, be favorable toward my men, since we come at a festive time. Please give your servants and your son David whenever you can find for them." So he's asking for, because they're in the desert, they can't find anything. They ask for, like, whenever there's anything they have extra, just to give to David and his servants, like his people. Verse 9: "We thought maybe Nabal was looking like that." And then these are the 10 servants that David's men arrived and told Nabal all that. So, verse 9: "When David's men arrived, they gave Nabal this message in David's name. Then they waited. Nabal ans- answered David's servants, 'Who is this David? Who is this son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Why should I take my bread and water and the meat I have slaughtered for my shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where?'" So we can tell that he's extremely mean. He will not give people anything. He's greedy. He's mean. Is even the way of talking, you can hear in the passage that he is the one that, even though he probably was like coming from the ancestors, like, oh, Caleb, he's been like in the Holy Land, through the ancestors. Maybe he was like an heritage. I don't think he gained all that by himself. But even though he was mean, the way of talking to people, and greedy, he will not give anything, no matter what, who. 12. David's men turned around and went back. When they arrived, they reported every word. David said to his men, "Each of you strap on your sword." Wow. Naaman didn't know what he was going to get on his own head. Just doing that. And David was not just one, like, these were just 10 people. But how about he had at least 400 people with him? Imagine all those. Wow. Getting their sword ready. So they did, and David strapped his own as well. About 400 men went up with David. There were more. They just these 400 went with David, but there were more. About 400 went up with David, while 200 stayed with the supplies. So he had in total 600 people. It's hard to feed everybody else, but give them some bread, give them something, because there'll be like lots of food and is always lots extra. But imagine 400 coming over Nabal's head. While they were like in the wilderness, they were taking care of their sheep, make sure like nobody will attack Nabal, nobody will touch his wealth. They were there taking care of the things over there. But in return, Nabal was mean, just the way of talking. Wow. I don't want to be in his shoes right now. But look at that. One of the servants told Abigail, Nabal's wife. Now, this was a kind of man servant. I would say either a man of God, because and not just that, Abigail probably they liked Abigail because she was the opposite what Nabal's was, when Nabal's character was. Abigail was totally different. So she had, like imagine that the servant would come and tell you what to do and what's going on. But this one wanna make sure saves her and her house. So whenever he heard when Nabal was talking, he went quick to Abigail because he knew Abigail, she had high standards, like she was intelligent, but she had wisdom. And said, David sent messengers from the wilderness to give our master his greetings, but he hurled insults at them. Yet these men were very good to us. They did not mistreat us, and the whole time we were out in the fields near them, nothing was missing. Because if you have so many, like 3,000, just one animals that you're going shearing, people are coming to steal. People are attacking, especially in those days. Night, verse 16, night and day, they were all, they were a wall around us the whole time. We were herding our sheep near them. Now, think it over and see what you can do. Is telling Abigail is opening her eyes to see what the situation is and how bad it is. Because disaster is hanging over our master and his whole household. He's such a wicked man that no one can talk to him. Is opening Abigail's eyes to see what the situation actually is. And this servant is on Abigail's side. They don't want the master's life to perish, his house, even though he was such a wicked man, but also Abigail will perish with everything else. So he cared about her in general, just being a servant. So if you treat your servants nice and well, you don't treat them that they are low and you are up high. She treated with kindness, with wisdom, and she she was kind, I would say, to them. She was always make sure that they have what they wanted, what they needed, and in return this servant was trying to save her and her life and her household, which is Nabal's household, but try to save them all together. Wow, what a servant. To be a servant, when God puts you as a servant, you think like, why should I care? I'm just a servant. Why should I do that? Why should I tell them? Let them perish altogether. Let them lose everything. What do I care? But no. Whenever God puts you, even you're a servant, you're a slave, or whoever, you gotta do it right. And he revealed this what he saw revealed to Abigail. And that was that saved everybody else. I like those fluffy ears and like they look so fluffy. Those donkeys. They look very, very well maintained because they are like rich. I would say Nabal was a rich man, so those donkeys were well maintained. Verse 18, Abigail acted quickly. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheep, 5 sheets of roasted grain. I mean, it's in that measurement. 100 cake of raisins and 200 cakes of pressed figs, and loaded them on donkeys. Wow. I'm not sure um, it was even enough for them, but anything was needed. Anything what they had, it was needed. Verse 19, then she told her servants, go on ahead, I will follow you. So she took a put on the donkeys and let the servants go first. She came behind. But look, the wisdom is right here. She did not tell her husband Nabal. Why? That's the wisdom right there. That's why I like her. And this passage brings her like higher, the way how she acted. She knew her husband. You just cannot go to him and tell, you know what, you did wrong. Now these people are coming over our house and they're going to wipe us off. We're going to die all together. I'm going to quick load the donkeys and send David some food with his people, with his men. She would not be able to get with the donkeys, with anything else. She she will not, because it will be an argument, because Nabal's there was it belonged to Nabal's. She coming into a marriage, and pretty much in that time, whenever it belonged to Nabal, it stayed with Nabal. Unless you approve it, nobody could take, like the wife could not just give like offering or anything. So she would not tell to her husband, which was very wise. And how many wives out there, they have to do just like Abigail, because the husband, it's greedy, it's mean, wicked, and will not agree with those. But she's trying behind the scene to save everybody else. Verse 20, as she came riding her donkey into a mountain ravine, there were David and his men descending toward her, and she met them. David had just said, it's been useless all my watching over this fellow's property in the wilderness, so that nothing of his was missing. He has paid me back evil for good. And exactly what happened. May God deal with David, be it ever so severely, if by morning I leave alive one male of all who belong to him. Wow. So David was definitely, it was so prepared to deal with Nabal and kill all the men alive. Didn't think about killing the women. He says like they will not leave not even one man alive, which Nabal said will go as well, his servants and everything else. And so that was in his plan to do. But in the meantime comes Abigail. Verse 20, as she came riding her donkey into a mountain ravine, there were David and his men descending towards her, and she met them. David would just say, oh, sorry, I think I got this the same thing. So I got this twice. Okay. 23. When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David with her face to the ground. We have a proverbs in Romanian language, as I'm from Romania. We say that when the head bows down, the sword will not cut it off. Because when you come and humble yourself to whoever feet, and you go so low, so down, they cannot, they just, their heart just melt. They cannot cut the head, but raise the person up instead. And it's what she did. It's like she didn't know the proverbs from Romania, but she does like that. She fell at his feet and said, "Pardon your servant, my lord, and let me speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say." She makes David's servant. She said that she's a servant, and she has like the already the servant, her servants got with those baskets with food. They already were there. So she came behind. She fell at David's feet and just say like, forgive us. Let me just speak and tell you what I have to say. So she says in 25, "Please pay no attention, my lord, to the wicked man Nabal," which she knew he was wicked. Sometimes arranges marriages is just, you know, for her to have a better life, to have anything what she needed for her life. But a man like that, is just harsh. She had otherwise a harsh life with him. He is just like his name. His name means fool, and folly goes with him. Wow. Now she says it all. She says it all. She knew she has intelligence, I say that, but more than anything else, she has wisdom. "And as for me, your servant, I did not see the man my Lord sent. And now, my Lord, as surely as the Lord your God lives, and as you live, since the Lord has kept you from bloodshed and from avenging yourself with your own hands, may your enemies and all who are intent on harming my Lord be like Nabal." Wow. She's trying to stop him to reason with David why he should not kill Laban. He says like he's a, even his name says he's a fool. He is, but she's trying to say that not will not be like bloodshed over Nabal's head, and uh, that will not he will not that David will not have on his hands a bloodshed from Nabal and his house. And 27, "And let this gift which your servant has brought to my Lord be given to the men who follow you." All right. All right. So doesn't she said like make sure that David will not get his hands dirty with the blood, avenging, against Nabal. But she brought the gifts and let that be, and erase whenever his avenge he was to do against Nabal. Am I missing something? Yes. Verse 28, "Please forgive your servant's presumption. The Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my Lord." Wow, she's kind of prophesying over him. "Because you fight the Lord's battles, and no wrongdoing will be found in you as long as you live." She is blessing him. She's making like a prophecy that his dynasty will last forever. He's going to fight because he's not the man to do wrongdoings, because and that for that reason he's going to live a long life. Verse 29, "Even though someone is pursuing you to take your life, the life of my Lord will be bound securely in the bundle of the living of the God, Lord God, our God. But the lives of your enemies he will hurl away as from the pocket of a sling." Wow. I think at this point she knew that she killed Goliath, like David killed Goliath. So she knew, because she's making even that. It says like she will have the in his pocket the sling to kill the lives of his enemies, and then he will be a great man, and then God will guard him, and he's putting all these blessings. So the way she says it melts David's heart, because is the way exactly how she says it. She sees it. She's more like a seer, prophet. She sees it, what is going to become, who he was, and what is going to be with him. When the Lord has fulfilled for my Lord every good thing he promised concerning him, and has appointed him ruler over Israel, she says that, wow, how she will know it. And it says when David will become a king, probably she knew, either like a seer prophet, she tells what is going to be, that David is going to rule over Israel. Okay, when God is going to appoint him like a ruler over Israel, but he already been anointed. Verse 31, my Lord will not have on his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed or of having avenged himself. And when the Lord your God has brought my Lord success, remember your servant. She sees like David that will come on the throne over the Israel, and she said that to make sure that if you do just kill Nabal and his house, you have blood on your hands. You don't want that. You want to have success. Why you want to have that on your conscience for the rest of your life, that you kill, Nabal and his household. But when you come to be a king and you come to have so much success, remember your servant. She knew, I say she was a seer prophet for sure. She prophesying and she sees things in the future that is going to happen for David as she speaks. Wow. She was a very anointed woman. I can tell. I can tell. Just the way she talks, I will be she will melt my heart as well if she's saying that to me. Verse, I'll put this image that even Abigail's servants, they were bowing down in this moment. In the time when she was talking, she was bowed down, but even her servants were bowed down to make sure that nobody will be against, like that sees that women, like her servants, they bow down to David. Like we, not just me, all my servants, we are all, like Laura, we are humble and forgive us. Verse 32, David said to Abigail, praise be to the Lord, because I don't think he heard anybody talking like that, not even a woman. So she was beautiful, intelligent, wisdom, and she has these qualities like a seer anointing and seer prophet. It wasn't her. The God of Israel who has sent you today to meet me, it says he praising God for her. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands. He say he's thanking her for stopping him to get ahead with his plan, what he had to kill Nabal and his house. And probably Abigail may be spared, is what she's asking. 34, otherwise, as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you had not come quickly to meet me, not one male belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak. And I think is exactly what is going to would happen if Abigail would not intervene. But I says it took a servant and Abigail wisdom to move things around. First, she would not know. She didn't even know that the 10 men of David came to the house and talked to Nabal. She did not know. She was praising God. Was in different room. I'm not sure exactly, or was getting with the preparation with the food. We don't know. Uh, she was leading, like who needs to do what. So she was helping. She did not know. It was not revealed to her. But the servant, I think he was not just a servant, he was a servant of the Lord, God Almighty. And as gave her, all this message, she turned things around. Look at the 35, verse 35. Then David accepted from her hand what she had brought him and said, go home in peace. I have heard your words and granted your request. It's what God does to us. If we ask God in humility, in humble ourselves to God Almighty and ask anything, even for the enemy not to come over us, or anything that you want to ask God, He will do it when you come and humble yourself to the ground in front of the God Almighty. Is what she did. And that reflects us a lot. All right. When Abigail went to Nabal, he was in the house holding a banquet like that of a king. Now, I try to portray like on the left lower side, like that's him drinking and have lots and lots of food. Now he's keep putting more like in people coming, getting more drinks, but he got himself for the best dress like that, and he got a big banquet like for a king. And it was people dancing there, like got drunk. He was in high spirits and very drunk. So she told him nothing at all until daybreak. That was another part of her wisdom and intelligence, because if you tell a drunk man something, you tell, you know what, I just saved your house, and he was like, what? You went and you bowed down to David? And who was there? And then you got from my food and all that? What did you without my permission? And he's drunk. When a person is drunk, they can't process the truth and the lies and all that. They are not there. It goes in the brain and they cannot process well. And those people, you gotta just leave them alone, make sure they go to sleep, and don't talk to them. Exactly how she did, and was very, very wise. She knew him very well. She knew how to talk to him, how to get to him, when to talk and when not to talk, and was good just to keep silent. He know nothing what she did. She came back because everything was like preparation, banquet, and all that. They didn't even notice she left with her servants, with some of her, I would say some of her servants. 37. Then in the morning, when Nabal was sober, when all this drunkenness came out of from his mind, his wife told him all these things. And that's why I put a picture here on the right corner, right side. And his heart failed him when he heard and he became like a stone. He became like his heart failed him. I'm just thinking like when it says heart, it's usually a heart attack. But then it says 38, then 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal and he died. So when he had like a heart failure, could be like it says his heart failed, could be heart failure. But I was thinking maybe because it says he became like a stone, which means more like a stroke when the person cannot move. So it could be like we'll have a heart attack, you die immediately. Unless you survive and then you can talk. But then it's like he's uh, he became like a stone. He's probably his whole body pretty much paralyzed. And 10 days later, so with paralyzed, it would be like such a, like a um, big blockage. Then he died 10 days later. Because, like, either way is like, what? How my wife went and bowed to David and took parts of my, like bread and all that to David. Why she did that? Then being maybe in angriness, or because of being scared, probably more of being scared that she saw things that Nabal didn't see. She saw them, and then their house is not perishing. David's not coming after them. That how come he didn't see that? And because of what he did, he could die, him and his house. But And because of, I guess, more like a like, wow, what have I done? You know, what have I done? And he was not a young man anymore, and I think he died even like a um, some people they survive from heart attack. Either you survive or die, but I say it might be stroke, and then after that, God struck him and he died 10 days after. Wow. 39. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal for threatening me with contempt. He has uh, for treating me with contempt. He has kept his servant from doing wrong and has brought Nabal's wrongdoing down to his own head." So it's like Nabal wanna, like didn't want to help, but if David will go against him, will be like his hands will be bloody from killing people. But instead, he said God brought Nabal's wrongdoing on his own head, because what he did, it was revealed, and then just stroke a stroke hit him, and he died. Wow. He thanked God because I say he would not have to get his hands dirty. I put this because I think this was actually more looks like Abigail. She was rich because Nabal was rich, and now all that went to her. Then David sent word to Abigail asking her to become his wife. Why? Because it's rare you find a woman without intelligence, without wisdom. Plus, she was beautiful. Not just that, she was beautiful. And after she buried her husband, she deserved something better. And his servants went to Carmel and said to Abigail, "David has sent us to you to take you to become his wife." Wow. She bowed down with her face to the ground and said, "I am your servant, and I'm ready to serve you and wash the feet of my Lord's servants." Wow. It's rare to find a woman like just like that, because she said that she is ready to wash David's servants' feet. She was ready because a life with Nabal was not the greatest, even though she had what she needed or she wanted, like maybe clothing and all, like food and all that. But to live it with a man like that, it was not what she deserved it. And she was happy to be David's wife and to wash his feet and David's servants' feet. Wow, this is big. 42. Abigail quickly, she did not think twice, quickly on the donkey, and attended by her 5 female servants, went with David's messenger and became his wife. She did not think twice. She just got on the donkey, she got her servants, she had 5 female servants, and went to be David's wife. David has also married, so it says who married Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they both were his wives. But Saul had given his daughter Michal, David's wife, to Paltiel, son of Laish, who was from Galim. He had Michal. David got her because of killing Goliath, and now Saul, since David had 2 wives, he didn't want the daughter to be with David anymore. He gave it to somebody else. It's like, okay, you got yourself 2 wives. I'm going to take my daughter away from you. Even though I promised, I'm taking away from you. It's who Saul was. But wow. What do you think about Abigail? I also this story just to reflect for a minute. This story of who she was, you know, to be so humble, so generous, so intelligent, and beautiful was all in one person. And God got her out from the house of Nabal and got a better life with David. And because I say, she liked David as they met, and David liked her, but she was married to Nabal. And then probably at one point, David felt sorry for her. When he heard that Nabal died, quickly got her, um, saved her out from that. And then God allowed us to know about this story because we want to be. I'm not sure what marriage you have and who you live and what you're doing, but to be wise, ask God for wisdom. God probably give you beauty and intelligence you acquire as you go, but wisdom is always needed. And not just that, be nice to your servants, to people around you, even though they're much lower with you in rank or whenever you are and what you do, like even at work, because they will tell you things that you probably didn't catch, you didn't know, and then all your life will turn for the best. So be to help others, be in a service of God to help others, no matter even they are like cleaning the floor, help them or be nice to them, because God will turn your things around in your life when it's needed. They will come and help you like angels of the Lord. They are sometimes on this earth. We have angels of the Lord, but they are like servants dressed like servants. Wow. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy it. Till next time, I say goodbye. Goodbye now.